Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Kietzman in the seat for the next hour, leading you up to the Vince Show. And we got a Victory Monday to celebrate today, as you can't kill those Kansas City Chiefs. You may think you can. You may wish this away, America. You may want them out, but they just linger and gnaw at you and nag at you. And yes, the Chiefs, probably with a season-saving victory over the Colts. The schedule does get easier, although the Cowboys are playing very well now. They've not completely fixed their defense, but it's way better than what it was earlier this year, and the Cowboys can really score. So this is going to be something on Thursday for Thanksgiving Day, and it's going to draw a huge rating in the 3 o'clock hour there on Thursday. We'll talk about the Chiefs a little later on because that should have been a 14-point win at least. That's the real problem with the Chiefs, is just not in a game like that where they dominated statistically and held the ball so long. They should have pounded that team. They really only gave up 13 points, and they gave away a touchdown with the Kareem Hunt turnover. So just not clean football, but clean enough to win. And yes, the Chiefs are alive. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about the governor being at the game. I heard Pete mention that a few minutes ago. Governor Mike Kehoe at Arrowhead yesterday before an event at Union Station. Coming up in about a half hour, my thoughts on Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is leaving Congress after 5 years and 2 days, which means she gets her full pension, and something that maybe you and I need to think about going forward when we try to sift and filter through the Republicans that we badmouth the rhinos so much. We need to take a really good hard look at some of the people who have the loudest mouth in our party as well. So I've got some thoughts on that. Of course, we'll check in with Mark. I don't think it went real well on our picks, Mark. Look, I was on the right team last night. I had the Sunday night over, and the Rams came out and scored, 20 or 31 in the first half? Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, of course it's going over, except Baker Mayfield got hurt. They bring the backup quarterback in, and both teams in the second half just decide they want to get on the bus and go home.
Yeah,
like they sad. Quit. That game just quit.
You should have hit that.
Should have hit that, but didn't. And who did you have?
Oh, KU. They blew terribly.
My. Don't listen to me and Mark on Fridays. Actually, listen to us. No, we're still above 500. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to badmouth this too bad, but that was a rough go for us this weekend. We'll get into it all a little bit later on. I'll start today with something that's been gnawing at me. And I mentioned this last week, but it isn't getting nearly as much media attention as I thought it would. And this is the Democrats that have posted this video instructing military members and CIA officials to ignore illegal orders. You've probably heard of this. You may have seen it. Mark Kelly, a senator from Arizona, is involved. Lee Slotkin from Michigan is involved. And the message they're sending is to troops, don't listen to your president. This isn't really about your commanding officer. It's not about your superior. It's your president's a liar. You shouldn't even like being in the military right now because of your president. By the way, Trump is wildly popular with military members, wildly popular. So what they're doing here is it's a fishing expedition. They're trying to get one or two or a few good men to defy orders, create this national controversy about is this legal, is this illegal, drag it through a court-martial, a trial, whatever, because they don't care if somebody gets in trouble, loses their career, loses their pension, if it advances the Democrat cause. So this really bothers me, like very few stories do. It's one thing to run around and call Trump names. A politician calling another politician a name, we've changed over the last couple decades. Remember, there was none of that against Obama. So Obama started this. He started the name calling, and the Democrats just ran with it. And we went until Trump came down the escalator, not saying one bad thing about any Democrats. Romney wouldn't do it. McCain wouldn't do it. Nobody would say anything about Obama. They'd never say he was a radical from Chicago that had ties to terrorists. They didn't do that. But Trump did. We started playing on a level field. That's about a decade ago. And we allow that in politics now. It's now acceptable in our culture. We don't like it. We claim we don't like it. But at least the Republicans are fighting on a level playing field now. This goes too far. This is putting in the hands of potentially an 18-year-old young man or woman who knows nothing about the law and knows nothing about what's legal or illegal, deciding, I don't want what my direct superior is asking me to do. I don't like this, and I'm going to say no. Somebody's going to do this. They're really pushing this hard. Here's the problem. This brainiac, Elise Slotkin, goes on ABC. I think it was George Stephanopoulos' show, but it was Martha Raddatz hosting. And to her credit, the media are changing, folks. To their credit, she actually asked a Democrat a real question. Martha Raddatz said, can you name or do you think Trump has initiated any illegal orders to the military or CIA? And here is Elise Slotkin's response. She said, quote, to my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal. She went on to say, but certainly there are some legal gymnastics that are going on with these Caribbean strikes and everything related to Venezuela. She then, after defending drug traffickers and a dictator, went on to cite the movie A Few Good Men. And she said, you know, A Few Good Men in other popular culture, there's plenty of examples of illegal orders. Wait, what? You are a senator in the U.S. Senate, and you're on national TV saying, to my knowledge, there are not any things that are illegal going on. So, ergo, these soldiers don't need to worry about it. There's nothing, they're not being told illegal things. So, for the record, to my knowledge, no, it's not happening. But we see it in popular culture. There are plenty of examples, she says, in popular culture. She cites a movie that's coming out. Well, she wasn't specifically citing the movie, probably, but the Nuremberg trials and what happened in Nuremberg. There's a movie coming out. Well, they're tying this all in with popular culture. She cited one movie, A Few Good Men, and now we have the Nuremberg movie coming out. Like, wait, this is what they're going with? If you go to the movies, if you watch Jack Nicholson, you'll see that Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men gave an illegal order. He gave the code red. You can't handle the truth. You have to defy this. Jack Nicholson in that movie is Donald Trump and must be stopped. And hey, all you soldiers, you're protected by the Constitution. You don't have to do what you think is illegal. Don't ask a lawyer. Don't go to your JAG officer. Just if you think it's illegal, no, tell them no. Go to hell. I'm not taking that order from you. This is what they're pushing in our country. There's very few things that get me wound up like this one, because there are just certain tenets to being an American and having a free and sovereign nation that are not up for debate. Among the most sacred of those is in our military. If you are given an order, you do it. That's it. If the president gives an order and his commanding general is a liberal and doesn't like it, it does not matter. The commander-in-chief gives the order, you execute it to the best of your ability. That's how a republic works. It's why we are Republicans. And for these people, Mark Kelly, and look, there's going to be a lot of grandstanding. There's going to be people say, hey, we may go after them and, try to prosecute them that this is illegal, this is sedition, what they're doing. And it may be, if it leads to a physical insurrection against lawful authority, it would be sedition. It has not reached that yet. But clearly they want this to happen. The question is, are they trying to incite this within the military to have the example so politically they can have a pawn in the military and turn it into A Few Good Men? Or are they trying to rally Antifa and their violent base to keep committing crimes against Trump and Republicans? Because we have a wave of transgender violence in this country. Well, let's just call it the LGBTQ plus gender-obsessed community in our country is committing crimes at an alarming rate. Now, listen, you're not going to sit here and hear me say anything about people in the gay community. Because, it's like the overwhelming number of people and the folks in my life that I know that are gay, they don't care about any of this stuff. That's not their life. They just want to live their life the way they want to live it and let others live their life. But this wacky wing of the alphabet group, the 10%ers or whatever, that are breaking things and burning things and inciting things and create and being terrorists, trying, the furry culture, trying to shoot the president. A dude fixated on furry shot Charlie Kirk. I mean, this is sick. So I don't know what Slotkin and Kelly and their cohorts are up to, whether they're trying to keep those people being radical and committing violence to scare people from becoming Republicans, or whether they're really trying to get something in the military to use as their pawn. One soldier somewhere that doesn't take the order and goes to the media and appears on CNN and says, no, I was told to do this, and I'm not doing that because that's illegal. But this really, really bothers me. As an elected official in your country, trying to disrupt your own military is as low as it gets. This isn't politics. The military is not politics. It's not trying to win an election. It's not Donald Trump even. And then she says that, certainly there's legal gymnastics. Well, what the hell's that? Going on in the Caribbean with the strikes we have on the drug traffickers and everything related to Venezuela. So she's defending, this is the position Trump puts these people in. She's defending the drug traffickers, saying we can't do this to them, and a dictator in Maduro in Venezuela. That's what the Democrats are defending. They are for the drug dealers and the dictators in this one, and they brought it to the public forefront. This needs to be a bigger story than it is. These people have lost their minds. This is anti-American at the very least. This is the kind of thing where people who voted Democrat their whole life say, you know what? I can't vote for a Democrat again. If this is the stuff they believe, I cannot vote for this. Love to hear your thoughts. Give me a shout if you'd like to be on the broadcast. We got phone lines open right now and a fine show ahead on a Victory Monday. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
From Leawood to Liberty, it's Kevin Kietzman. Uncanceled on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Happy Monday, everybody. Thanks for being with us here on Uncanceled KCMO Talk Radio. We're taking your phone calls at 913-408-7957 if you'd like to join in. We start today with John in Cleveland, Missouri. Good morning, John. How are you this week?
Good. I was traveling into Kansas City, and to let you know up front, I'm a gay conservative and listen to your show. Good job. But I followed a car when I was coming into town, and it had a bumper sticker, only one bumper sticker on it, and it was a gay flag, the modern one, the new version, and it said, "Defend diversity." And I was fine with that until I saw the rest of it. On overshadowing the sticker in black was an AK-47 and a person holding it up in the air. And I took great offense to that. As a gay person, it's like if that's their answer to defend diversity, then it's the wrong way for them to go. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And it's unfortunate, but I see that more and more, and it's unfortunate.
Well, it is. I will say this. There's a lot of that on the right as well. I mean, when we think of, and I'm being very stereotypical here, and I probably shouldn't go there, but I'm going to do it. When we think of like some of the bubbas out there with their big trucks, and a gun rack in the back, and they'll have a bumper sticker that says "Protected by Smith & Wesson" or something like that. There is a lot of that out there in defense. So this is not really unique, I don't think, to the gay community. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying and why that would offend you, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the first time I had ever seen it. This is the first time I've ever called into any station. But that's how upsetting it was for me as a person to see that, let alone, even, again, with me being gay and everything like that, it's like, hey, this is the total wrong way. And if that's the way they're going, that's unfortunate that they're doing this.
Well,
but
let me ask you this. This should just be your opinion. But today versus 10 years ago, before Trump or whatever, do you think there are more or less gay conservatives in America?
Probably less. I mean, I've been around for a long time. I'm 68, so I've been conservative since whenever. But I think it's more, not chic, but it's acceptable to come out now as a conservative. But I see more and more. I mean, Andrew Sullivan and all those other guys that came out early. But, yeah, I think it's out there now.
All right. Sounds good, John. Thanks for the call, man. I really appreciate it. That's a great call. John, first time ever. I like that. Offended by that sticker on the car. Perfect. Here is Mike in Kansas City, Kansas. Good morning, Mike. You're on KCMO Talk Radio.
Yeah, about the Sedacious Six and, their implications about Trump. It's the old saying about the first mate hating the captain, and every morning in the log he writes, "Today the captain's not drunk." It's a true statement that implies something else. Right. And Kelly and his crew, when they say something like this, they're implying that Trump is giving illegal orders. Don't do any illegal orders. Well, what's the illegal order given? Well, don't ask us that, but don't take any illegal orders, as if it's implying that he is giving illegal orders. And again, understand they're loyal to their billionaire donors, number one, and then everything else afterwards. I don't think any true military person would say something like that. Not in the area right now that we are in the country.
Well, the reason I'm talking about this today, and I wouldn't have, except this Elise Slotkin went on the Sunday show on ABC and was asked directly by Martha Raddatz if Trump is doing anything illegal. And she responded, "To my knowledge, I'm not aware of things that are illegal." Now, how dumb is she well, no, I shouldn't say that. She probably thought, this is easy, I'm doing ABC. They're never going to ask me that question. But they did ask the question, and she couldn't lie. She had to say, to my knowledge, there are not things that are illegal. And then she cited the movie A Few Good Men in popular culture as things that we need to watch out for. So you're exactly right with what you're saying. That's exactly what they did. And then she was asked about it point blank and couldn't defend it. That's why I bring it up today. And look, part of this is my obsession with the media. This is progress. I don't think ABC asked this question a year ago. I think they just slough it off and go along with the ride and think, okay, Trump's doing illegal things. I think it's great they asked, and I think it's really embarrassing for her that she had to answer it truthfully and say, well, no, Trump hasn't anything illegal yet, but we got to watch out for it. No, this is crazy.
It'd be like somebody asking her, have you cheated on your significant other today? It's the same thing, You shouldn't be cheating on your significant other.
Yeah,
Well,
or if she had a
probably
news
doesn't
conference.
cheat on the significant other, but people put that seed in their mind that she's, somebody who would. It's the same thing. It irritates me how these little tricky things that people do, and some people fall for them. Obviously, you and I don't, but a lot of other people fall for it.
Right. It would be like her making a video appealing to women, saying, "Women, ladies, if your husband is cheating on you, you need to call a lawyer." That's what this would be. And so everybody would think that her husband is cheating on her, but may not be. It's just such a stupid ruse, but it's dangerous. My problem is how dangerous it is, because there are people, and we've seen this, there are people in the military that go rogue. They're literally asking people in the military to go rogue. They are. And if somebody's 18, 19, 20 years old, they're not sure who or what they are or what they believe, and they're not having a great experience in the military, God only knows what may happen. This is terrible. No, this is really, really, really terrible. All right, Mike, thanks for the call, man. I really appreciate it. It's just awful. How about this note? This is a good one. Monrovia, California, I saw this weekend. Have you folks seen what happened at the Home Depot out there? 100 people in line wearing T-shirts that they don't like ICE. They're anti-ICE. Home Depot has been doing ICE has been doing raids at Home Depot. These people line up 100 deep or so at Home Depot, and they all go through the automated line, the self-checkout, and they buy these cheap little $1.99 plastic little ice scrapers, and they have signs on their back that say about Home Depot, "I'm out of ice. I'm out of ice," they say, and it has a Home Depot logo. And then they buy these scrapers, then they all get in line at customer service to return them and get their money back, and they're willing to stay there all day. They tie up the entire personnel of the store returning $1.99 ice scrapers after they bought them, trying to make a stance. The media covered this thing. There hasn't been much on it yet other than social media. I mean, if your life has come to that you're going out and ruining a business operation, and people that work there that may actually agree with you, and ruining their day, buying your little scraper at the auto checkout, and then standing in line 100 deep to return them and tying the customer service counter up, you need to have your head examined. All right, when we return on Uncanceled, the Chiefs win. They should have won by more. And MTG is gone from Congress. Next on KCMO.
From Lenexa to Lee Summit, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
So one of the things that became pretty clear to me over the last few days with this Marjorie Taylor Greene saga that occurred between her and Donald Trump, and then her leaving Congress after 5 years and 2 days, which makes her fully vested in her pension, $170,000 a year for life at current rates when she becomes 65. A nifty little move on her part. So in the very beginning, I was intrigued with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I like when people say things. I thought she was tough. And the longer it went on, the nuttier I thought she was. And you'll know if you listen to this show frequently that we have not talked about her a lot on this show. It's not that I just dismissed her. It's easy for us all to identify the wackos on the left. That's easy for us. We need to sort of identify those on the right as well. And not really neutralize them, but not give them a lot of air. You know what I mean? Not give them, don't give them oxygen. Don't let them become too big, too fluffy, whatever. The amazing thing about Donald Trump, because really ultimately what Marjorie Taylor Greene did in destroying whatever it was that she had was she was too over the top and people saw her as nutty. Not that they didn't like some of the things that she was saying, or they just like, nope, we can't trust this. This woman's a little not right. There's something here with the amazing part is a lot of people in the very beginning thought that about Donald Trump, but most people have a little intuition about other human beings and realize that Trump, when he was up there, Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe, all these other things, when he was doing that, it was performance art, that there was a very serious and somber person behind all that understands business and government and America and can get things done. I don't know anybody that ever thought that about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think a lot of my friends really liked her and said, they loved what she was saying. They loved what, was going on in so many different ways around this thing and the things that she was doing. But nobody ever really took her that seriously. Like she was going to become some sort of a big senator and maybe run for president someday or anything like that. We just need to keep our eye on people like that. That's all. Because they're on the right just like they're on the left. She's certainly not that wacky like some of these people on the left. But you know what I'm talking about. You saw it in her too. And over time, it just kind of grated on you, and this had to come to an end. And so it did. All right, back to the phones we go. Stephen is up next on KCMO Talk Radio. Good morning, Stephen. How are you, sir?
Hey, Kevin, great. Victory Monday. No matter how we win, it's still a good win, no matter how sickening it was to my stomach most of the day. Mm-hmm. Listen, the thing about MTG, I could forgive almost anything. I kind of liked her at the beginning, but when you go on The View or Anderson Cooper or all this stuff and try and win them over, I think she lost everybody. I mean, she may try and run for governor now of Georgia. I don't know how you take her for real. I mean, if it, like you said, those people, they were trashing her after she left. They trashed her before she left. I don't know if is she looking for approval from some of those liberal media types?
I'm guessing she's headed to media. I would think she's going to go to media. Yeah. Pete just texted and says she will not get a pension, so I am wrong. I had read that over the weekend, and I had not seen that clarified in another story that she will not get a pension, so she does not qualify. That my bad. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that, but I want everybody out there to know that. It doesn't really change the way we need to view some of the people on the right. Like, I never really talked much about it. You guys know that. It just was not my thing. I'm like, no, I'm not sure that's the one I want to hang my hat on and say she's in my party. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she's gonna keep going. Well, like you said, I had heard rumor was she was going to get $750 a month. That's what I heard. I don't know what you call that, pension or fees from being a congressperson over delayed benefit, but she's not going to go away. I mean, I don't think she's not, but it just makes the rest of us look bad. That's right. That's my main concern, is that I don't take someone like her seriously because of this foolishness. When you go on The View and try and win over the very worst in this country, and she takes them seriously. And I don't know anyone who takes The View seriously. I think The View is kind of like WWE wrestling. You know, I mean, she actually. I mean, it just bothers me that she was in our party for so long. Now maybe she was, you know, maybe she had a mental episode or something when she went on CNN and all this stuff. But I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. It's hard for me to have a comparison. I just think she's a little touched maybe at times. That's the only thing. But yeah, like you said, the less we talk about her,
right,
the better. Probably. Hopefully, she doesn't run for. She gets her stuff together if she ever runs for office.
All right.
Office again. But it's just kind of sad. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that. All right, Mark, help me out here. Where are we on this pension with MTG? What do we got? Look, I know there's benefits for sure. They get health insurance and all these other things. There are always benefits. If you've been elected to Congress once, there are certain things you get for life for serving in Congress. Where are we on the pension today?
All right, it looks like Mark Alford says $8,725 per year.
Okay.
On that, so it's a small pension.
It's a very small pension. She gets a little something, but she'll get some other benefits, health care and things of that nature for a while, or at least reduced costs. It's a good thing to be in Congress. That's all I know. It's a good thing. And that really wasn't the point, although that's what the internet did. It went wild that, hey, she got 5 years in 2 days, and that's why she did it, because she was going to get this full pension, and that apparently is not the case. So somewhere in the middle. I don't really care as much about that, okay, as it is what's wrong with her. She's not going to finish her term. And so there's always been something a little off about her. I think we all sort of recognize that. Not unlike when we watch our Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, that was a professional segue, wasn't it? There's something just a little off with the Kansas City Chiefs. There is a wonderful feeling that the season is still alive, although they're in worse shape for the playoffs today than they were going into this weekend, because almost everybody else won, and there's one fewer week left to get into the playoffs. The Chiefs are not in the playoffs. The 3 teams just ahead of them, the 7 seed, the 6 seed, and the 5 seed, are all 3 7-4, and the Chiefs have lost to all 3 teams. So they're 2 games back of all those teams. The best target, as I said last week, for picking one off here is going to be the Chargers. I think they're the weakest link. The Chiefs have a game left with the Chargers. They can negate the tiebreaker there, depending on what happens in the AFC. But I think more than that, the Chargers are not playing well. The Chiefs' schedule gets easier. I think they can pass the Chargers and have a better record. That's what you're shooting for. The tiebreakers are not lining up for this football team. And yesterday, they did the same sloppy, silly things that they've done. They lost turnovers 2-0. Their special teams are atrocious. Dave Tobe might be sealing his own fate with his comments last week. Like, the last thing Dave Tobe wants to do is a news conference and draw attention to his special teams. Shut up, Dave Tobe. Your special teams stink. And you have a couple of star performers. Like Harrison Butker looks like he's figured some of his stuff out. He's kicking it straighter and higher. We love that. Great. That's not you. That's him. You still can't have a return of any kind without a penalty being called. The Chiefs are better off just fair catching everything. Just fair, nobody block, just fair catch. That way we don't get the additional 10 yards for holding. It's pathetic. So that's bad. They haven't fixed that. They're not even close. If they could just get to where the special teams were average, it'd be a bonus. Clearly the weakest part of the team. Not even close. But Patrick Mahomes does a thing that drives me absolutely crazy. He throws every deep ball too far. Every single one of them is too far. Like, he doesn't trust his receiver to go up if it's contested to make sure it's not intercepted. But if you're going to throw an interception, please throw it 50 yards downfield instead of at the line of scrimmage. They lost the Jacksonville game because he threw a pick six 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. They dug a hole yesterday. He threw one behind the line of scrimmage. It's bad. He's been in this league too long. And don't be a hater, all right? Don't be getting on me. Mahomes was, at times, brilliant yesterday, but he had 17 incomplete passes and an interception, which was basically a pick six. The Chiefs' defense only gave up 13 points. They held the best running back in the game to 50 yards, whatever it was. The defense was phenomenal yesterday. And people have the nerve to start saying, well, if there's a weakness, it's the pass rush. They're not getting to the quarterback. You know what? The plan wasn't to get to the quarterback yesterday. The plan was to cover and say this quarterback isn't good enough. We don't need to sack him. Just let him throw. We got to stop Jonathan Taylor, and we're not going to worry about Daniel Jones beating us throwing the ball around. Okay? That was not the game plan. Until when? Until the end of the game, when the Chiefs came back and they get it tied up and they're storming back and here they come. Then they bring up this pressure on Daniel Jones and he freaks out. And we get this string of 3-and-outs. It was great defense. The Chiefs have that in them. They dominated this thing statistically. I mean, just dominated this game in every single way. Kareem Hunt had a turnover down in the scoring zone. That's 14 points right there. That's like starting the game down 14-0. That's what yesterday was. If you add the 7 the Chiefs would have gotten, add the 4 that the refs took away with a bad call is 11, and the 7 Mahomes gave them, that is 18 points difference in the outcome of this game. Regulation ended 20-20. Well, what is an 18-point swing? An 18-point swing is essentially 29-11. That's what regulation should have been. The Chiefs should have been up 17, 18 points at the end of regulation, but they're not doing the little things. That didn't change yesterday. This was a beatdown, folks. This was a beatdown. Statistically, an absolute and utter beatdown by the Chiefs. They marched up and down the field. The time of possession, the Chiefs had the ball 17 minutes more than the Colts. They outpassed them 352 to 181. They outran them 3-1 for crying out loud, and they've got or 2-1, and they've got the great running back and the great running game. No, the Chiefs got to clean up, man. This is just and I know Andy is a player's coach, and the Chiefs have had a lot of great success through the years. Is just go make plays, guys. I trust my players. Go make plays. There's a little too much of that right now. There's a little too much of let's just go play. No. This isn't the NBA where you can just turn the ball over a million times and travel and do all this stuff over the course of a game and it only costs you 2 points at the other end. You come back. No. When you make the mistake in this game with your season on the line, you're down 7-0 for no reason at all. 0. Other than Mahomes' brain melted again. He's doing way too much of this. And he knows it. And he talks about it. And he doesn't fix it. And I can't figure it out. But I was sitting with a group of people yesterday watching the game, and I didn't bring it up. And they brought it up to me and said, you know what? We really love Travis Kelce this year. He looks tough and lean and serious, and he came back with a vengeance saying, hell no, I'm not going down this way. And Patrick Mahomes didn't. And you may have heard that in the offseason, that some quarterback wasn't taking it very seriously, that he was out of shape and fat on vacation and clearly not doing what the documentary said that the Chiefs produced, and that's Patrick Mahomes in the weight room 36 hours after losing the Super Bowl. Oh, I'm dedicated every day. Here I go. No, you haven't been. It's go time, Mahomes. You're going back to your hometown of Dallas. You're playing Thursday in the brightest possible NFL light. It is the late window, Thanksgiving Day at Dallas. This is it. This is bigger than Monday Night Football. This is bigger than Sunday Night Football. It's a regular season game, but for a regular season game, this is the showcase every year. The Cowboys are playing better. They're a scoring machine. Their defense isn't great, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was earlier this year when it was the worst in the league. They've made changes and they've gotten better. This is not a gimme. The Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite. You want to roll down to Dallas and start the game on your 10-yard line and throw it to a defensive lineman and get behind 7-0, you're toast Thursday. You better go find a lead. You better take care of the ball. You better trust your defense a little bit. It was frustrating yesterday. It was a great win. And they had to win, and champions win. And you have to give the Chiefs all the credit in the world for doing that. But you can't keep digging these holes. This season's too tenuous. They're not in the playoffs. They're actually farther from the playoffs than they were going in because there's one less week to get there. It is not going to be easy, that's for sure. All right, we'll take a little break here. We come back. Mark Van Sickle joins us. We'll get his thoughts on the Chiefs. Trump wants to make a movie? What is this? Donald Trump wants to make a movie? And a crazy thing happened at a horse race event in Louisiana this weekend. That's next on Uncanceled.
From Overland Park to Parkville, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
All right, here's an interesting story. Donald Trump wants a remake of a movie, and it comes on the heels of an announcement they made at the White House today that he had a really nice long phone call with Xi Jinping of China today, talking about a wide variety of things. Mark, have you heard this story? Do you know what he wants a reboot of or a sequel to?
I have not heard this one yet.
Jackie Chan in Rush Hour. He wants more.
Let's go. I enjoyed those back when I was in high school.
Who's the other dude? Chris Tucker, is that right?
Chris Tucker, yeah.
Those are good movies. Trump wants another one, and Jackie Chan is alive. There have been some death hoaxes about Jackie Chan that he's dead, but he is alive. And maybe he could be like the mentor to a younger, so I'm thinking China and U.S. here, you know, like Trump, Xi Jinping, and he wants a Rush Hour movie? Jackie Chan's Chinese, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
That's fantastic. That's really, really good. Did you see the horse race in Louisiana this weekend?
I did not. I missed it.
Saturday night, there's a horse race in Louisiana, and the horses take off, and around they go, and around down the stretch they go. And the ambulance was on the track, moving into a different position, apparently. Like maybe they had used the ambulance in a previous race, something happened, and then it was coming back into its position. It was going against the horses on the rail, and all the horses had to dodge the moving ambulance. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
It really is. I
I'm
mean,
going to have to look that up.
they had to get fired. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. You got to get fired. The ambulance cannot be on the track during a race, so we're going to assume that they got fired. All right, let's talk a little Chiefs here, Mark. I had my rant there. What do you make of what we saw yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much with you on all that, talking about the turnovers. If they clean that up, they win that game by double digits easily. And the other thing is, if they can just score touchdowns in the red zone instead of settling for field goals. I know they want to play it safe in a close game like that, and it ended up working. Butker hits all those field goals. But if they start scoring touchdowns in the red zone instead of kicking field goals, they're going to win a lot of games by double digits down the stretch.
Yeah, it was a frustrating game to watch, but I walked away with no doubt that the Chiefs are a better team than the Colts.
Yeah,
I believe that. Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. I think that if they play them again in the playoffs on the road, they'll still be favored.
Colts had a smart game plan. Don't turn it over. Let's see if the Chiefs will beat themselves here today. They got up 20-9, and the Colts stopped, really trying to make a bunch of things happen. I respect that. It's a tough place to play. A lot of teams come in here and say, we have to throw the kitchen sink at the Chiefs. We're going to do fake punts. We're going to go for this, go for that. The Colts didn't fall into that. And in the end, their offense sputtered. The Chiefs' defense was outstanding, which gave the Chiefs the chance. And the Chiefs won. I thought Thursday was a write-it-down win. But, man, Dallas coming back from down 21-0 yesterday, whew, that was incredible.
I know. I thought the Eagles were going to just crush them, and then that comeback makes me a little nervous, but I still think the Chiefs will win.
A little nervous, maybe a lot nervous, as it were. So we got that going on. Chris Kleiman is the head coach at Kansas State. This weekend, they put 1,000,000 yards rushing on the board against Utah, which was ranked 10th in the country or 12th in the country, and had the game basically won. I am not a refs caused the game to end the way it did guy, but they definitely caused that one. There's just no question. The things that they called a 12 men on the field penalty, Mark, on a fourth down play. K-State's up 10 with 4 minutes to go. They stopped the fourth down. It's K-State's ball with 4 minutes to go, up 10. The game is over. They called 12 men on the field. This is a little confusing for our listeners, but if the offense substitutes in college football, the defense is allowed to substitute as well. Mm-hmm. So Utah made a substitution. K-State put some players on the field and had a couple more running off the field. The official's job, the white hat, is to stand right by the quarterback in the center, hold up the snap until all the players are off the field. The official had his back turned to the K-State players running off the field, started the play early, trying to help them speed the game up because they're in their hurry-up offense, snaps it. The side judge throws, well, there are players on the field. Not one member of the crew knew that it is actually a penalty that is impossible to enforce. It's not possible. The rule says the official must wait until the field is clear to start the play. That could not be a penalty on Kansas State. Literally cannot be a penalty. And they called it, and it cost them the game. Brutal. I digress. KU plays Notre Dame this afternoon, Mark. What do you think? This is college basketball in Las Vegas.
I like them to win, and I think that they'll cover the -4.5 spread. I'm looking at it on FanDuel right now.
You're on FanDuel. Giddy up. Go get it. It's a holiday week when there's afternoon college basketball, so enjoy. That's it for Uncanceled today. The Vince Show is coming up next on KCMO.